MCM Expo, and this guy is being brought out to play. Not specifically the toy, the Doc Ock costume. So we gotta go pack that, which is a real pain. 2 bags worth of tentacles. So it's more hassle than that. I only need 1 bag for that. For Doc Ock I need 3. Okay, so down here, underneath the bed, is where some parts of it live. So yeah, this drawer's a little bit messy because I've been putting random stuff in it recently, because I've been messing about the Stormtrooper armour. Don't need that. That's my undershirt, I need that. And that's the shirt that goes over the top to hide all the cables, so I need that. Boots, yes, we need boots. Did I move my insoles? Always check your shoes have got insoles in them if you've got a long day. They do. Right, so we've got trousers, a hat. Oh dear, don't tell me you got squished. Hat's all good. Got some gloves, 1 coat, 2 coats. So we've got all the clothes out that we need. So we've got trousers, got the gloves, got the aesthetic shirt as I call it, the undershirt, 2 coats, and a hat. All these I will wear on the way to the convention. I don't pack them because it's a lot easier just to wear them than take them with you and get changed. Okay, so now for the fun bit, we need to go into the nerd cave up there and retrieve the Doc Ock tentacles with the claws and everything and bring them into my room to put them into these bags, which are really big laundry bags. They were the biggest bags I could find because nothing else fits the tentacles in. This is where they live. We gotta get all this lot down there. Now, everything is nice and safe. Up in here we can get on with packing it into the bags, but first things first, I've got to check them over for damage. Even though I normally do after a convention, it's always good just to double check before you pack them away to make sure there isn't any like paint coming off, because sometimes paint comes off the claws and I have to just go over it a little bit. And just make sure everyone's tickety-boo and sort it out. So there doesn't seem to be much damage at all on the tentacles. The only thing that has been damaged a little bit is just some of the paintwork. See some bits of it are scuffed, and some parts that are more flexible ones are cracking, but as I've gone for a battle damage look with like really worn metal and like all the yellows are kind of dirty and stuff like that, having damaged paint actually adds to the look and the character of it, so it really isn't bugging me at all. So these guys are now ready to be packed into their own bags. Okay, so the bottom 2 tentacles go in a bag together without the top 2 and just with the girdle, not the backpack, because these 2 are the longest of the tentacles. They have close up to 30 segments, where the other 2 are only around 20 segments long, so these guys are the heaviest. So they get to go in the bag by themselves. And also all my tentacles have names. Very much like Alfred Molina named his tentacles when he was on set in the movie, I've named all mine, and rather appropriately I've named them after the man himself and the roles he's played in films which I've seen. So this guy, this is the bottom right tentacle, and his name is Tevye, which is Rep Tevye's nickname, in the musical Fiddler on the Roof, which I saw last year and it was really cool, but back in 2005-06, Alfred Molina was performing as Tevye on stage in Fiddler on the Roof, and I have the CD with his cast doing it, and it's really cool. So, and I like Tevye, so this guy's called Tevye, and he was the last one that was made. So, he has to be put away, especially first. So this is the bottom left tentacle. This one is called Moody. which is a nickname from a character whose full name I can't pronounce properly, from the film Not Without My Daughter, which is based on a true story. And it's actually kind of frightening when you think it's based on a true story, but it's definitely worth a watch. I'd suggest go watch it if you're a movie goer. If you're more like me though and you kind of like actiony stuff, then it's probably not for you, but I'm rather partial to most stuff. So this is Moody, because I always think the bottom two claws and the tentacles look the most angry out of all four, and he looks really severe when you put him on like he's about to eat someone, so I think Moody is a very fitting name for him. So Moody and Tevye are my bottom two tentacles. The girdle goes in with the bottom two tentacles as well, because it's the lightest piece of the costume, even though the majority of it, like the detailing, is metal. Even though most of the other bits do have metal in it, it's kind of weird that the one that has the most metal in it is the lightest, so you get the idea of how heavy the tentacles all are when they're put on together. So there you go, that's one bag done. So now we got the top two tentacles. This is the top left tentacle, and his name is Alfred, as he was the first one that was made, so he gets to be named after the actor. And it's lighter compared to the other ones, but still not that light, so him and the other one get to go in with the backpack in their own bag. And last but certainly not least is this guy. This is my top right tentacle, and he's my favourite because of the just the shape. He came out really well, and his name is Horvath, named after the villain from the film Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is a really underrated film. I don't get why it got such bad press as it did, because it's awesome, but because they did, even though they did sequel bait, it's not going to get a sequel, which is really upsetting, because if you're like me and you have a soft spot for really good villains, Maxim Horvath he's gonna rock your socks, because he is awesome and I would kill to be his apprentice. Even though I'm not a fan of zombies running the world, but you know. So yeah, that's Horvath. And also he's the most useful one to carry about, given the shape, so I can literally just stick him on my shoulder like that and he balances. So carrying him around at convention is really easy. And this is the closest probably ever get to hugging Dr. Octopus. It's a sad life being a fangirl. So the backpack also goes in with the top two tentacles, this being the heaviest of all the costume parts. I leave the battery in with it, I just put some bubble wrap over it, and it just sits in there nicely. Only thing I've got to do at the moment is just add a little bit of fabric, some padding on there, so it doesn't rub as much when I'm wearing the harness. When that's done, put it in the bag, and then that's your two tentacle bags sorted. Okay, so the claws have now had a quick touch up with a little bit of paint for any major paint sort of scuffs that have come off, and a little bit of hot glue just to make sure the claws sort of stay attached. And now just gotta stick them in a load of bubble wrap, put them in their own bag, and that's the costume pretty much packed. And the very last thing that you want to go with your costume is your emergency repair kit. So in my repair kit I've got silicone lubricant, which is to spray on the chandelier roses so the tentacles go on and off the backpack a lot easier and don't get stuck, and tissue to wipe it down so it doesn't get all over the place. Tape, because you always need tape, and I'll probably put some scissors with it, because I suggest getting duct tape, but my store didn't have duct tape at the time, so it's electrical tape, but it's there for anything that this can't stick together, which is like super strength super glue, which is just like a little brush on. It's like nail varnish, but you brush it on and it sticks together and is very difficult to break apart. So I normally keep this in my pocket for any major damage that happens throughout the day, but hopefully it wouldn't. But tape's secondary. And then last thing I carry with me is my business cards, so I've got a big stack of them. So if people take my picture, I can give them a business card if they want one, and they can come find me on Facebook. And that's it. That's the Doc Ock costume, and that's putting it together, packing it. Travelling with it really isn't that interesting, because it's just putting it in a car and driving to the place where we need to go, rather than lugging it about on the train. So If you want to see lugging stuff about on the train, I'm sure I've done vlogs in the Ace costume where we were travelling to convention. But that's it. That's Doc Ock. I'll wear the clothes when I get up in the morning on Saturday. And there you go. That's the joy that we go through normally the few days before conventions. That all cosplayers do. Panic and put together their stuff. And I hope they don't forget anything. Alright. I'll see you guys at the MCM Expo. Bye bye.